It's not that type of a weapon. So, Parikshit Maharaj was saved in his mother's womb. And for a fraction of a second, he had the facility to see the form of the Lord. And when he saw the form of the Lord, it gave him such immense pleasure that he was constantly searching for that personality that he saw in the womb of the mother. And therefore, his name is Parikshit. Parikshit means examiner. So any person he would see, he would try and visualize and recall, is this like that form that I saw in my mother's womb? But he could never find somebody who looked as effulgent and brilliant as the Lord that he had seen in the mother's womb. And even when Parikshit Maharaj was young, he didn't go and play, he would worship Radha and Krishna. So such a person, when he becomes a monarch, you can imagine how fortunate the people could be. And Parikshit Maharaj, after starting the administration of his kingdom, he would travel throughout his kingdom. And wherever he would go, people would receive him with such great enthusiasm. And they would just praise his grandfathers and great-grandfathers. They would just recall the wonderful days of his grandfather's rule. Because during their rule, society was totally prosperous. Why was it prosperous? Because they were God-conscious. And because they were God-conscious, all necessities of life were being provided. Queen Kunti says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, "My dear Lord, the rivers are full of water, the earth is full of grains, the trees are full of fruits because of your merciful plants." So when there is a God-conscious head of state, then mature nature also cooperates. Today, what do we see in society? We see in society today that mature nature is gradually increasing, is gradually inflicting more and more pain on us. Just like we see the world is running short of natural resources. The world is running out of natural resources. We have built our economies assuming that there'll be unlimited supply of everything. Just like America with so much land, it was designed with such a policy. The gas was very cheap. So everything is 2 hours traveling to go to point A to point B. Now as gas gets more expensive, people are realizing this is not really practical. And the world is running out of water. I mean, in countries like India, the situation is very bleak in terms of water supply. But there are many other parts of the world where water is being restricted. There hasn't been rainfall for several years. Even in California, they told me that for 5 years they haven't had a good monsoon. There are more and more forest fires. There are more and more natural disasters like earthquakes, etc. So if you carefully analyze, you will see that because of mankind's greed, we have built a society that doesn't keep into account God's teachings. And as a result, there's more and more misery, just like global climatic changes or global warming. It used to be called global warming, but now the name's changed to global climatic changes. Because you can't predict what the weather is going to be. Just like we were in Toronto till yesterday, and even though it's summer, it was extremely cold. So you can't predict the weather, and the root cause of all this is our greed. We have made our lifestyles so comfortable that now we are finding that this is also creating its own problems. So, simple spiritual philosophy is simple living and high thinking. If you had simple living and high thinking, then you will not have all this pollution problem, environmental problem, etc. Automatically, living simply, you will be able to survive. But today, because our philosophy has been high living and simple thinking, we've all been so greedy, we've tried to amass more, and now we find what? The world is full of haves and have-nots, and the natural ingredients are running out because of man's greed. So, what is needed for progress of the society is a God-conscious head of state, and like Lord Ramachandra, like King Yudhishthira, King Parikshit, etc. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, if he wanted, he could have continued to remain as the head of state for a long time, to his death. But he decided, no, now it is time for me to step down. So Prabhupada, in the purport, talks about the system of varnashram, that is, the division of the society into 4 social and 4 spiritual orders. Chaturvarna Maya system, Guna Karma Vivadasa. According to guna or quality, one belongs to different varnas. There are 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And what are the 4 ashrams? Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha. So, for society to be peaceful and happy, there must be this division of varnashram. Then society can be progressive. Just like in our body, we have various divisions. You have the legs, you have the belly, you have the hands, and the head, isn't it? And only if we have all these 4, then the body is considered to be complete. Similarly, we need the 4 varnas. The Brahmins are compared to the head of the body. Why? Because like if you analyze, the brain or the head is the most important part of your body. They can replace heart, kidney, liver. Have you ever heard of head replacement? No. Have you ever seen anyone walking without a head? It's very... So the Brahmanas must be there in society. They're the brain of the society. And the qualifications of Brahmana are mentioned in the 18th chapter of the Gita. Then the Kshatriyas are compared to the arms. And the Kshatriya's duty is to protect the weaker sections of society and to give them spiritual guidance. And the Vaishyas are compared to the belly. Their job is to take care of agriculture, business, and cows. And the Sudras are compared to the legs. Just as the legs support the other 3, the other parts of the body, the Sudras supports the other 3 varnas. So Prabhupada is making the point that we should not be in our professional positions till the moment of death. Just like these days, at least in many countries like India, you see the politicians never give up their position. They either get elected, they get defeated in the elections, or they get shot. Otherwise, voluntarily, very few people really give up, isn't it? You have Prime Minister of India is 76 years old. The leader of the opposition is 82 years old. So you see, no one really voluntarily wants to resign. But the Vedic system is very scientific. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. One must, at a certain age, transfer all his responsibilities, chew his subordinates, and exclusively devote oneself in service to the Lord. So the point that Prabhupada is making in the purport is, Maharaj Yudhishthira is setting an ideal example. If we study the Vedas, the Vedic stories,